And speaking of traveling, you write Nat Geo. So it's one of the things I'm always fascinated by because it is growing up one of the many travel books I go to. So how did you get into it in the first place?
If there is one thing I could put on my tombstone, it would be tenacity. That basically sums up my life, and it's gotten me into a lot of problems, and it's also scored me a lot of wonderful opportunities. It doesn't make for an easy and relaxed life, but I go after what I want, and all I wanted to do since I was about 9 years old is write for National Geographic. I wrote to one of the editors when I was at university, and it was a really good letter, and I got his attention, and so he said he had gotten me an interview for that internship program, and then the rest was up to me. And so I went down for the interview, got lost on my way to National Geographic, got there on time, and got the job, and that's how I started. So I worked at their headquarters for about 7 years, and then realized that I wanted one of the roving writing jobs, and at that point, I picked up and moved to the Southern Hemisphere and been writing for them ever since.
Oh, wow. What was your first assignment as for them for the travel?
My first assignment was actually a self-assignment. I assigned it to myself because I was getting small writing opportunities, but I'm early 20s. So they don't hand out the assignments to the early 20-year-olds. But I wanted to write a story. And so I self-tasked myself with writing a story about New Zealand and wrote the story, and it ended up being on the cover of National Geographic Travel. So it worked pretty well.
Really talking about tenacity down to the T.
Oh, if only you could be inside my head. It works so well sometimes, and then sometimes it just it causes so much chaos. Look, the moral of the story, I think, is that I found out at an early age that if I go for what I want and don't get it or fall flat on my face or embarrass myself, it's a fleeting feeling of failure, and then you dust yourself off and you're on to the next thing. And sometimes you actually get what you're going after. And that's worth everything. To me, it's worth it to take the chances because I did learn pretty early on that nothing bad too much happens if I don't achieve what I set out for. Yeah, if I embarrass myself or fall flat on my face, it doesn't hurt too badly. Just pick yourself up, dust off, move on to what's next.